A tough loss for the Miami men's basketball team over the weekend. Where do they stand now on that bubble?
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Mazda. We put that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment. Putting in the work, that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. We're going to talk football and hoops on this episode. And whenever we're talking hoops, there's a really, really good chance that our guest is going to be on with us. And that is an absolute show favorite, Melissa. You know her as Hoodie Girl from the Buckets podcast. Melissa, it's been too long. How you been?
It's been so long, I had to text you and invite myself onto the show.
But you knew it was coming. I was actually thinking about you, right? And this has happened to me a lot these last couple of weeks. Like when I'm thinking about inviting certain people on, and then they text me first. So there's like a psychic universe thing.
Football season went long, and I was busy traveling for all of it. So we had to, now we can focus on hoops, and then baseball season starts in a week. So got a lot of sports to talk about.
Yeah, and then right when I start fully focusing on hoops, they had the road win against Syracuse, which was awesome. They suffer this loss at home over the weekend, Melissa, to Cal. And it's been a couple of rough home losses over the last couple weeks, Florida State and now Cal. Everywhere that I look in all the bracketologies, ESPN, CBS, On3, like Miami's always kind of on or right outside that bubble. How do you view the tournament chances now?
I think we're on the bubble, maybe outside looking in, maybe last four in. But I think our tournament chances are getting less and less because I think that loss to FSU and that loss to Cal were two wins that we really needed because we haven't really hit the meat of our ACC schedule yet. We end the season playing Louisville. We haven't played NC State yet. We haven't played UNC yet. We're lucky we don't have to play Duke, but we haven't played some of the top teams in the conference yet. And losing to FSU and Cal definitely hurts our chances because the FSU game's a bad loss. Yeah. That hurts the resume. I don't know. The curse of Coach Ham, I guess, still exists because for whatever reason we can never beat FSU every year. No, we needed that Cal win. So I think before the Cal loss, I think we were like the last four buys, I think, in the bracketology. Yeah. But I think we're on the outside looking in, and then we've made our chances a lot harder with that loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned with some tough games coming up, like I'm looking at ranked opponents still remaining. Home against 16th ranked North Carolina is coming up on February 10th. You mentioned at NC State, which is a tricky road game. They're not ranked but tough. At 17th ranked Virginia, still have a home affair against 20th ranked Louisville. So I guess like if I'm going to be a half glass full type of guy, you stated the case for why we really needed the victories against Cal and Florida State, but there are ample opportunities left for signature wins and quad one wins if we can get them. So there's still an opportunity to get into the tournament here.
Yeah, no, we have, the meat of our schedule is coming up. So there's a lot of opportunities for quad one wins. I don't think we have a quad one win currently.
No.
So we didn't have like the greatest of non-conference schedules. We won the games we were supposed to win. Our two losses were to top-ranked BYU and Florida. So, and I actually honestly thought we played really well in both of those games, but we just don't have the depth or the size to stay with those types of teams. That Cal loss is heartbreaking, though. We needed that one. But no, you're right. We have a lot of really good teams that we're going to be playing coming up to get some resume builders. We just need it. But the Cal and FSU games are kind of just kinks in the resume. They don't, especially that FSU one looks bad, but if we can knock off UNC or get a win at NC State or Virginia Tech, Louisville's probably the second best team in the conference after Duke. So we'll see. We have them at home to end the season, so that could have some ACC tournament seeding consequences. So we'll see.
And despite being on that bubble, this has overall been a very good start to the season for Miami. And I know when we had you on prior to the season, I know that your take on Jay Lucas was very polarizing, right when he took the job, because I know you really wanted somebody with head coaching experience, which he didn't have. Has your opinion changed on Coach Lucas since his arrival, since he's built his roster? Because I think when we did that preseason show, that was before we had everybody in that he brought in through the portal. So has your opinion changed?
I think he's done a great job so far. And it's really funny just to watch people on the internet go from like really high on him to really low on him, depending on how we win or lose. I mean, this isn't football. We're not, it's really hard to go undefeated when you're playing 30 plus games. I thought roster construction, I think he did the best he could with the situation he was dealt. He had to completely rebuild a team. I think our top 5, top 6 is really good. And then there's a significant fall off. Obviously losing Marcus Allen because he's battling lymphoma hurts because he was a big part of the rotation.
Yeah. And God bless him. Yeah.
Some of the guys that I thought were going to be good at some things are struggling that are coming off the bench. I think like our starting 5 plus Dante Allen, I think that's top 6 has done really well. But when you got to string a team together like that, I'm not expecting the world. So the fact that we're even having conversations about being on the bubble, I think he's doing a great job. I appreciate his halftime adjustments. Yeah. This team has a lot of weaknesses, foul trouble, not a great 3-point shooting team, not a good free throw shooting team. But he does make adjustments as far as defenses, how to attack zones. Because in the beginning of the season, and still even a little bit now, teams switched to a zone defense against us, and our offense just like it's like, what do we do? What do we do? We look a lot of the times we look like a different team coming out of the half. So I think he's doing a great job. I'm really interested to see how the rest of the season goes, but how he builds on it, because he's doing, I mean, you look at, I know we lost to FSU, but you look at what FSU is doing with a first-time head coach versus what we're doing with a first-time head coach. And I know we lost that game, but the trajectory is very different based off like how both of those teams are doing right now. So we'll see. All my kudos to him so far this season. I think he's doing excellent. And anyone who's questioning 1 or 2 losses and saying, oh, like he's not it. I like, don't change your mind as much as you change your underwear. Like, but chill. he's actually doing a really, really good job.
If this team can find their way into the NCAA tournament, and it might kind of come down to sort of the same way the football team snuck into the playoff, maybe this hoops team could sneak in. What would make them dangerous, and who, obviously Malik Renew, and who else would they have to lean on if they want to make a tournament run?
I obviously Malik has been our main scorer, our leading scorer. He's been getting into foul trouble, which is a problem. Yeah. To paraphrase Dick Vitale, you really have to have good guard play if you want to make a run in the tournament. Obviously, we have a lot of season left. We're on the bubble. I think we need to pick up 1 or 2 wins where we're not the favorite. Pick up 1 or 2 ranked wins because we need some quad 1 wins for the resume. We need to win the games we should win. And then I think it would help if we won a game or 2 in the ACC tournament. But if we were to make it in the tournament, I mean, I didn't even think we would have this discussion this year. Yeah. Obviously, Malik, got to lean on him. He needs to stay out of foul trouble. But I think Trey Donaldson is the key because he's been very streaky as far as his offensive prowess. There's some games where he's scoring 20 plus, and there's some games where he's shooting 2 for 12. So I think that's a big thing. And then we need our guys off the bench to hit their shots. Timo Malovitz hasn't, like, his 3-point shooting has been very streaky, and he's there to shoot. I would love to see Noam Dovrat get more playing time. I think because he's kind of like our backup point guard, because we've had Dante Allen in the starting lineup. Would love to see him get more time. And then obviously when Altuntis comes in to spell Uda, I just want to see him continue to grow. He's become way less of a liability on the court. I've seen a lot of improvement in him. He's actually a very playable body now when he comes in, especially on defense. He's not fouling like crazy anymore. He's learned how to play, college American basketball. But there's just little things like our closeout defense on 3-pointers. We have the worst 3-point shooting like defense percent in the ACC. So there's just things we have to clean up. But like I said, it's first time head coach, pieced the team together out of the portal with a couple of freshmen. It'll be I'll be really interested to see what he does in the offseason. If Shelton Henderson stays, any freshman recruiting, Caleb Gaskins is going to come in. So like I said, I was very weary about a first time head coach, but I think he's doing an excellent job.
Well, and I think Hoodie Girl's doing an excellent job. You could see why she is our basketball correspondent, but she was also all over the country on the road during the playoffs with and watching the football team. So I want to get Melissa's impressions and what this team's going to look like in 2026, because as you guys know, I think it can be even better. You want to keep it locked right here. We're only getting started on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Folks, it is the last call for football on FanDuel. One last Sunday, one last kickoff, one final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite, you're riding with the underdog, do you like the Seahawks, or do you like the Patriots, or you're building one last same-game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for, and I love the Super Bowl props. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season's over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com today to get started. Folks, this is Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who know, there's more to the score than what's on the screen. You know who moved the game forward at the University of Miami? Jim Larranaga, most successful basketball coach in Miami history. He was honored about a week ago at Miami. Honestly, we should honor Coach L at every men's basketball game. 13 seasons with the Hurricanes. We had 6 NCAA tournament appearances, which, as we know, historically, it's not always easy to get into the NCAA tournament. 4 trips to the Sweet 16. First ever Elite 8 in 2022, and then a Final Four in 2023. Jim Larranaga, we talked about this with Katie Meyer with the women's program. Coach L really enhanced Miami basketball. I'm not going to say he put them on the map. Maybe Leonard Hamilton did that, but he made Miami's dot on the map a lot bigger when it comes to men's basketball, and he made the program so much better than he found it. So here is to Coach L. And it reminds us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's the extra work off the court. It's dialing in every detail. It's giving it the extra fire, the grit, and the I never quit. We put the same passion into every model. Highlights make the reel. What it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. And by the way, to the everydayers out there, if you want to make your everydayer experience official, make sure you become an Everydayer Club member. Join that all-access tier. You can click the link in the show notes below or go to lockedoncanes.supercast.com. You get exclusive one-on-one texting with me. You get exclusive episodes called the Canes Colada. You get an exclusive newsletter. A lot of exclusive stuff you can get in the all-access tier of the Everydayer Club, lockedoncanes.supercast.com. So, Hoodie Girl, you were with around the team for all the good times. Texas A&M. You traveled to all 3 of those road games, right? A&M and to the Ohio State game in the Cotton Bowl and to the Fiesta Bowl for the Ole Miss game. I mean, what was just that run to me? Like, how did you experience that being there for all those games? Because in our wildest dreams, a lot of us didn't think they would make it as far as they did.
Well, that's why I went to the College Station game originally, because I was like, it's our first playoff game. Like, I got to be there to experience. Obviously, my guy Vish, he was traveling. He went to all 16 games last year, so kudos to him.
Man,
But
shout out to
I
Vish.
was like, I've got my travel buddy. I got to at least do College Station. Didn't think I was gonna go to the Cotton Bowl just because of work. Like, I did that in like a 24-hour trip on no sleep. Legit worked until 3 a.m., caught a flight at 6 a.m. to Dallas, went to the game, came back the next morning to go back to work. There was no sleep. And then we kept winning. So I was just like, we're gonna keep going. Thankfully, the national championship was here because I was tired, but it was honestly it was amazing. I was a nervous wreck in the stands. I posted this video of me watching the last play, the Ole Miss game, where like they batted it down and everyone paused around me because we were all waiting for a flag.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I was devastated on that last play where we got picked off and not winning the Natty. I sat there for a few minutes and just kind of stared. And then Vish was like, yo, let's go. I don't want to watch them celebrate on our home field. So
Nope.
It was definitely devastating. But the run that they gave us, I mean, I started at undergrad in 04, so I've never really got to experience the winning like this. I really didn't pay attention to college sports in high school that much. So the 01 team, yeah, I can talk about them, but I wasn't really witnessing it live. I wasn't paying attention. So it was amazing. It's the best time I've ever had watching football ever. I know we lost, but what a run. I couldn't be prouder of what what our coaching staff has done, the negative stereotypes that people had against them and how we weren't supposed to be there and Notre Dame should have been there and it's not fair and we didn't even win our conference. And just for them to keep winning and winning like they did, beating up Ohio State, going through the turmoil in the fourth quarter against Ole Miss, being down for the first time in the playoff and still coming back, Carson leading that drive and scoring. Was so happy for him. I hate that he threw that pick at the end of the game because that's all people are going to remember him for, and they're not going to remember him for the stuff that he did through the playoff. I mean, I know we ran the ball a lot and we depended on the trenches a lot to win those games, but he's the reason why we beat Ole Miss. He led us 2 drives to take the lead, and obviously the second one winning it, running it in like that. And I hate that people are just going to remember that pick because we don't get to where we are without him. And I give him all the respect and love. He's always a Cane in my book now. Forget Georgia. He's a Cane.
Yeah, and you mentioned how you and our friend Vish felt right at the end of the championship game, but I'll tell you, it didn't hurt the same way that other losses have hurt, Melissa. I mean, I know you mentioned you started really getting emotionally invested in the team in 04, but like I still remember the way that the 03 Fiesta Bowl, like nobody can hurt me the way that game hurt me, and it was different because at the same time, Miami comes up short against Indiana, but I was still just overwhelmed with pride, for them winning those previous 3 games and also for being that close against a supposed juggernaut of an Indiana team.
Yeah, I mean, we made some mistakes in that game that cost us that game. I think we, played well enough that we could have won that game. A blocked punt, a missed field goal, just little things on special teams that kind of cost us. Not scoring in the first half and digging ourselves that hole. Indiana wasn't going to be an easy team to come back from. But no, for sure. I mean, the Fiesta Bowl in 03, that's one of those things where you thought you won and you're celebrating, and then they throw a late second flag, and then like. I can imagine like it's for the team who's already like all the field celebrating. Like, how do you come back from that? And so you feel like that was stolen from you. This game wasn't stolen from us. Indiana had to earn it. It just hurts because it's the first little bit of success that you had in a really long time. It's on your home field, and you make that magical run, and so you're just on that high, and it just goes from like up here to like down here, and then you've got to wait 200 plus days to try to do it again, and it's not easy to get there. We all know that. It's a struggle. We had the hardest run through the CFP. We barely got in. People didn't believe in us. We had to really fight for it. Hurt some feelings along the way. But we want to be back there, and I think we can do it again next season.
And the crazy thing about the run that they had in year 4 of Mario, like internally, everyone around the program, I think from Cristobal to the AD Radakovich and, President Joe Echeverria, who'd, been with Miami even prior to being appointed president. I think the thought among everybody was this is like year 5 is when it's really going to pop. Like that's going to be like the culmination, right? So they did what they did this past season a year ahead of schedule. And I know not everybody's schedule is the same because in Indiana in year 2 of Cignetti just won a championship. So you could say, well, why is it taking Miami so long? But they really viewed this as like a 5-year thing. And then I'm looking at what the team's going to look like this coming season, Melissa. And yeah, you lose some important players, CC is going to be a first-round pick. Bain, first-round pick. I think Mesidor's now probably moved his way into the first round. Carson Beck will probably be QB 3 or 4 in the draft, whatever round that ends up falling him in. So you're losing some important players, both your offensive tackles, but this team, to me, is gaining a ton. Like, Darian Mensa has a higher ceiling than Carson Beck does. You keep your running back room together. The receiver room is an embarrassment of riches, throwing Cooper Barcade into that mix. You get Damon Wilson for your edge rush rotation. It's like, honestly, I think obviously you have to have certain breaks go your way, but the schedule's even easier this year. I think the team can be better. Well, what's your outlook on this 2026 season coming up and your goals for the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few mock drafts that has Akeem Mesidor going to my Cowboys towards the end of the first round, so that would make me super.
That would be good
excited.
for you.
I mean, yeah, listen, Maui Noah and Bain, they're like unicorns. It's generational talent that you're not going to see, that you may not see again. I think Cantwell is going to be thrown into that same position that Maui Noah was thrown into, as far as starting as a freshman. I think he can do it. I know a lot of people have concerns about the offensive line. I obviously do. You can question and be concerned about the offensive line and still have faith in Mario and Coach Mirabal to get the line right, and I think they will. But there might be some growing pains earlier in the season. And there's no like, oh, let's do 4 non-conference games, ease into it, and then do ACC play. We've got Friday night game on the road in California to start the season against an ACC team, and then roll right back into a Thursday cupcake to go back on the road on Friday for ACC. So we get right into the meat of our schedule. I don't think our schedule is easier than last season. I think our non-conference is easier. Obviously, we don't have a USF or a Florida. So we have to go on the road to Notre Dame. But I actually think our ACC schedule is harder, and I say that just because, one, we have multiple Friday games, which is annoying. I know Clemson isn't what Clemson's been in the past, but to play at Clemson's not easy.
It's always dangerous to play there, for sure.
FSU is always a rivalry game. We have them at home. We got to play Virginia Tech. James Franklin is a whole new animal that we got to deal with. So honestly, my concern, we lost some really important first round guys, but I think we have a lot of bodies and talent on paper that can make up for that. So like what we're losing in like big stars, we're gaining in good talent, but a lot more good talent. And we kind of forget like some of the bodies that we have on the defensive line that we haven't even seen yet. Like Hayden Lowe probably would have been in the 2 deep this year if he didn't get injured. You bring in Wilson, Moton stays, which I think is absolutely amazing. Justin Scott and Armando Blunt got a ton of time because of injuries with Blay and Moton this year. We bring them back. You got Marquise Lightfoot. So you got Lightfoot, Lowe, and Wilson, all edges that can all rotate. I don't know if you could put Blunt on the end as well. Keeping Chase Smith and Mohamed Toure, the 2 old men of our linebacker room. I was super excited about that. I think Toure got better and better as the season went on. So I'm actually really excited to see what he does next season because he played like a beast in the playoffs. I was joking with Vish. I was like, dude gave up his body in the A&M game to stop that touchdown, and then he just played out of his mind after. I'm like, did we like jerk something in his brain where all of a sudden he just turned into like a first round pick? I mean, he played really well all year, but he hit another switch in the playoff. I don't know if you noticed that, but like he like picked up an extra cylinder. I think we kept all of our corners. Obviously, losing Jacoby and Keontae is rough, but you bring in a guy like Thornton from Boston College, who's an absolute baller. You keep all of our corners. Fitzgerald is going to go to another level. You still have Poyser. I know you lose Mesidor and Bain, but I really think our defense could be better next year.
I think they're going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to be obviously like I think it'll be more of a rotation, which is fine. But I also think Damon Wilson, like people don't understand like how good he is and how dominant he was at Mizzou. And I think he's going to fit nicely. And then, you get that extra coaching from Jason Taylor, who hopefully isn't going to the NFL. I know there's some rumors out there, but yeah, I'm with you. I think the defense can be even better.
Yeah, and I listen, losing Keontae Scott is hard. I mean, we played well without him when he was injured, but people got to go watch Thornton.
Yeah.
Thornton is legit. He's a thumper. And if if they play him at nickel, which people have talked about maybe playing him at the nickel, obviously like Scott is irreplaceable, but he's pretty close from what I've seen. And you put him with the coaching and here instead of what he was getting at Boston College. I really like our rotation that we're gonna have on the defensive line. So I think our defense will be just fine. Yeah, a lot of people are worried about their offense, but I think you're bringing in a quarterback that obviously Beck has all the experience in the world and has high football IQ, but Mensa kind of brings you another dimension because he's a bit more mobile and can move around more in the pocket and outside of the pocket and make those Cam Ward-esque type of throws. We've got insane talent, wide receivers, all the running backs come back. Be interested to see what our tight end room does because you got Lofton returning. Does he stay healthy? But who's after him?
Yeah, probably Luka Gilbert, probably.
Yeah, but that's just on paper. We haven't seen it yet. So we have our depth at tight end, and the O-line is, I think, what everyone's looking at. I got no concerns about the defense.
I'm with you. Well, a lot of good stuff here from Hoodie Girl. And you still have your own line of hoodies, right? Like, how can people find them?
Yeah, if you, because it's cold, so it's hoodie weather right now.
Yeah, right.
I figured I'd break out the beanie for a change.
I love it.
Aboutthefans.com, if you just search Hoodie Girl, it'll come up with my 4 hoodies. You can use the code HG10, HG10, get 10% off. This is my logo hoodie. And me and AB have been talking about doing a 5th one, so we may get to that eventually. But my hoodie line's still there. It's got a hoops hoodie too, so if you want to get into the hoops mood while we hopefully maybe make a run to the tournament this year, definitely do that.
Awesome. Make sure you do that, and make sure you check out Hoodie Girl on the Buckets Pod on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thank you so much, Hoodie Girl. Make sure you follow her at the Cooler Mel B on X. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Donno. Have a good one.
All about the U. We'll talk to everyone next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.